walking in.
It's David Cook. Good morning, David Cook. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for coming
You
in.
literally just walked right onto the show.
Yeah. No, I'm.
You don't need any warm-up time, do you? Just,
Oh,
you need
man.
to stretch.
These mornings are good.
Did you get a break at all?
Define a break, because no, not really.
Yeah, because this happened in May.
Yeah.
And
It's been nuts. So we did right after the finale. We had a month of preparation for the tour, and then we went on tour, and I was working on the record. I did get 2 weeks like around Christmas, and went home and tried to breathe for a minute, and then it's just been kind of go ever since.
Yeah, and you kind of want to go, right? I
Absolutely.
mean, at this point, you don't want to tell your management, like, you know what, I'm going to take a month off.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
Having work to do is better than no work at all. So
Yeah, what's it like? You worked really hard.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't something that happened overnight. So you deserve full credit for everything that's happening to you and for you.
Thank you.
But what's it like when you do walk through the door and you're from the outside hoping to get on the inside, and then you do get inside? The door opens and they allow you in.
Well, here's the dirt. So getting on the show is one of the most. It's not so much nerve-wracking as it is just kind of mentally strenuous, because there's so many rounds of auditions, and then by the time you get through it all, I probably auditioned like 6-7 times.
wow.
And so they made sure. You know? And and then you get on the show, and I remember it's such an abnormal thing to have to go through. I remember like the first episode we did, like during commercial breaks, like I was sweating so bad, like they were using a blow dryer on me during commercial breaks. So it's I can't think of any other experience that's even comparable.
Yeah, because we know now that you won. We know now that you made it through. We know now how you succeeded. But at any given time during the show, you don't know if you're done in the next break.
Yeah.
And it's I mean it's an endurance test. It really is. I mean, not only physically, because there's very little sleep and there's a lot of stuff to do. It's more mental than anything, because I remember every week it was, you make it through a cut and it's like, that's great, I got to get back and work on another song for next week. So because I don't have the best luck memorizing.
Yeah.
Right. So you really had to okay, these I've never heard this song before, and I got to do these lyrics in a week. So
Well, it's do your best when you're at your worst.
absolutely, yeah. And if you can pull that off, then
You deserve
Yeah,
everything you get.
then you're ready
Maybe.
for a recording
Maybe.
career and a
Yeah, yeah.
contract and a tour and all that and the above.
Because people are able to call in and vote for you and decide your fate.
Mm-hmm.
Do they feel, even more than if they buy your CD, that they are a shareholder in your career?
I hope so. I mean, I would love for as many people as possible to be invested. So, but it is kind of interesting. Like, I'll do a meet and greet, or just randomly run into somebody when I'm out, and they'll tell me things about myself that'll catch me off guard. Like, wait a minute, you know that?
Right.
Yeah. I remember we were on the tour, and somebody sent in this huge box at one of the stops, and it was for me. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I opened it up, and early on in the show, I had talked about my favorite food of all time is a taquito from this gas station called Quick Trip in the Midwest. And they sent me an entire box, literally about the size of a 32-inch TV, full of taquitos. And so then what did I do? I turned around and I shipped it back to Kansas City. So I could put it on ice, and it went bad on the way.
No.
So, yeah, it's a bum out. But whoever gave them to me, I'm sure they were delicious.
Now, people are passionate. We do an Idol recap every Wednesday morning and talk about it. I got hate mail because I liked you so much. Because seriously,
no.
people with all caps shouting at me like, you don't know anything. It's like, well, yeah, I've been in radio 29 years, and I kind of understand how hit records work. But
I mean, it's a pretty nice piece of evidence to suggest. I mean, the show's just they struck a nerve, and I think it speaks volumes that no other show's really been able to recreate it.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that is the seedy underbelly of the loyalty of that show. So,
Well, and this last season, they said, well, we didn't get to really know them as well as they were all so polished, and we didn't get to know them as well. We didn't get to break through. But we found out a lot about you and your life and what's going on with your family and the emotions going on at that time. And was that, did you okayed that through your family? Is that something that you said, you know what, I'm here I am, the light is really bright on me right now, and I can either not talk about all this, or did you have to make a decision that way?
Well, the decision was kind of made for me. And I say it in this context. Like, when I first got on the show, I'd had a conversation, with my family about what was okay to talk about, what wasn't okay to talk about. And really the family consensus was, you need to succeed or fail on your own merit. And, you don't need with my brother having cancer,
Right.
I didn't want that to overshadow what I came on the show to do. And so, but then it leaked, and, it was just a matter of, like, I respect my family more than anything else in the world. So the last thing I would ever want to do is bastardize something like that.
Right.
So, but it's nice to be kind of on the other end of it now, because now it is something that I can talk about, and I've tried to get really, really involved in cancer research and funding, and try to help be some small proponent for change, and so.
That's great. David Cook is our guest. His CD is out there. It's gone platinum.
Yeah.
Which is pretty great.
I'm gonna start wearing like grills and stuff. It's all downhill from here.
Does this feel real? Are you just like, do the next thing? Are you not able to really look that far ahead, or?
You know what? I'm actually really afraid to like stop and fully process all this, because it's overwhelming. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. So I'm certainly enjoying myself, and to have a record that's platinum. I remember the record I put out before Idol. I sold like 1,000, and I was like, yes, yes.
Well, just when the box arrives and all this shrink wraps, you got it looks like a real CD. It's like, wow, this is really cool. Look
Absolutely.
at me.
And then turn around and see it in stores now. It's ridiculous.
Among the contestants, is there any discussion of, is it bad to go first on the show? Is pecking order all that we think it is?
Like show order during the week?
Yeah. And when do you know that you're going to be first up? How far out from the actual liveness of the show?
Day of. We always found out day of. I think there was it was almost unspoken. I mean, whoever went last always got really excited,
Yeah.
But I don't remember what week it was. There was one time when somebody who went last went home. So there's really no formula. It's just kind of, if you go on and do what you're supposed to do, you'll be fine. Like, my whole goal is I never tried to beat everybody on any given week. I just tried to like do better than whoever did the worst. You know what I mean?
That's a great strategy.
Yeah, if I can do well enough to just stick around,
right?
And
well, that's how sports teams win. They just hang. If you hang around, you're still there in the fourth quarter. Then you get a chance to win.
Or the old joke about 3 people being chased by a bear. It's like, I don't have to be faster than the bear. I just have to be faster than you.
Exactly.
David Cook's our guest from American Idol. Hang on 1 second. We just got to update people on the traffic that you just got through. And we'll come back real soon here with David Cook from American Idol in our studio. We're going to check the traffic, brought to you by Colonial Bank.